All right, so this video is going to be straightforward. I'm going to share with you the strategy that I've been using with my clients to help them get a lot more clarity, a lot more focus into growing to 10 to 30k MRR. I've been talking about coaches or also content creators that have their courses and coaching programs as well. Now, in this case, one of the main factors why this works tremendously well is because it's going to be your energy is going to be channeled into one specific thing. Everything else is going to be there, but it's not going to be draining your energy, which is why a lot of the potential is there to get to amazing results. Now, this is the background here. Your product might be coaching or done for you. Your goal is to get 10 to 30k MRR. Your pricing point might be something around 3 to 5k per service right here, right? And what you've tried so far could be paid ads, but you couldn't find at least a self-liquidating offer there. You might have tried appointment setters, organic marketing, Facebook groups, webinars, challenges, ebooks, courses, and you put your heart and soul in every single one of these, and getting to 10 to 30k was either possible but extremely energy draining, or you couldn't even get to half of that margin. So what I'm gonna mention here is pretty much the foundations of what is working, at least for me and for a lot of the clients that I have. So here's basically everything lined up. I have basically three pillars. The first is the cold audience, the second is warm, and the third is hot audience. It's going to be something around 80% going to be cold, 15% warm, and 5% hot audience. At least this is the standard for most coaches that that get started or that start. They have around 80 to 15, 5. And in order for us to understand the next part, we need to focus on which kind of rules or goals we have for each pillar. So in terms of a cold audience, your audience doesn't know who you are, what you do, how good you are. They don't have a single clue, right? So just for you to go ahead and say, hey, work with me, it's kind of too soon, right? So all you need is a strategy that allows your audience to get to know you more, right? Organic strategies normally do the trick. They are amazing. This is something that I use every single day, and from that I get a lot of leads. And I also recommend, because it's something that allows you to build your personal brand. That personal brand is going to feed every single one of these pillars, and ultimately you're going to have an easier life to actually scale to those 10 to 30k MRR. Now, the next thing is going to be your audience, right? Your audience needs to understand how good you are. How does it look like working with you, and how much you understand about them, right? How much you understand them, because these things is going to ultimately help your audience to want to either work with you or buy your products or get excited about what you do, your way of living, your lifestyle, or how you deal with those things, right? So mainly your warm audience strategies is going to get people to get to know how good you are, right? So they know you, they can trust you a little bit there as well. And it's going to help them to understand how does it look like work with you, because your main goal is to actually work with these people one-on-one. That's your ultimate goal, is to work with them one-on-one. So they need to have that, that understanding and feeling like almost like they are working with you. And how you do that is very, very simple. You need a strategy that allows your audience to be more curious and reveal themselves. Because if you don't know who is watching your content, who's engaging, who is liking your content, or in terms of not engaging with them, but who's actually reading and watching your content every single week, but they are not revealing themselves, what that means is that you have no idea how close you can be from closing a lead, from turning a lead from warm to hot. So what you want to do is you want to create strategic content that gets your audience interested into saying, hey, I'm here, right? Engaging with your content, asking you questions, send you DMs like I do every single week. I receive DMs from people that I didn't even know. They were following me, and they were saying like, Pedro, how am I the only person reacting to this and saying how great of piece of advice is this? Or for example, this morning I got someone like a funnel builder reaching out to me saying that what I told in my Facebook story made total sense. He didn't think about it that way. It was, he called it a gold nugget or something, right? So it's like, these kinds of things, you don't know who's watching you until you create these strategic pieces of content that gets them to reveal themselves, right? And say, I'm here. They are more curious. They want to move forward, or they want to buy a course from you or something like that, right? In terms of, that's exactly what you want to do. So organic content that's not educational, because education is great for cold audience, but to turn people from warm to hot audience working with you one-on-one, educational content is not going to be the best one, because let's be honest, everyone does educational content. Educational content doesn't do the trick. You need a different element there to make it work. So in terms of the hot audience, which is 5% of your audience believes that you are an expert in what you do, that you can help them, and that what you do will work for them. This is like the most important thing. If they don't believe that it will work for them, they're never going to buy from you. They might like you, they might trust you, but there's something there blocking them. So they need to truly believe that it's going to work for them. So how do you do that? You'll need a deep understanding of your audience. This is the most critical thing that I work with my clients. They need to have a client avatar. There is not a standard client avatar. You need to go 2 levels deep in terms of understanding their pain points and desires, or even 3 levels deep, as I mentioned there, because it's very, very key. Because everyone can understand that lead gen is your problem or is your pain point. You know how to get enough leads, but that's not enough, because everyone says that lead generation is a big problem, or sales, or whatever it is, right? You need to go 1 level deeper. What kind of process in the lead generation? Why is it a problem? And then from the why, a level deeper. Why that is a big problem. What changes? How do they approach differently? So the deeper you go, the more connection you're going to build with your audience. This is 100% fundamental. And one of the things that I do in my sales calls with my offer that I have for funnel builders in terms of one-on-one coaching, that's one of the main reasons why funnel builders just mention, like, Pedro, okay, this is exactly who I am. It makes total sense. I need to work with you. Basically, that's pretty much about it. And all my clients that end up working with me for my done for you offer, which is funnel building, by the way, I build and help coaches and content creators and course creators build structures, sales structure with funnels and paid ads and email. They also had the same reaction, because I understand their business model. I understand how I can help them and exactly what they've been going through in past experience. Even this week, this is actually funny. I'm not going to take too long here, but this week I had a call with someone which is a lead. It's not closed yet, and it was actually funny because she mentioned that in her previous call with a funnel builder, she was like, dude, you are not addressing my concerns. You was just trying to sell, always focus on pricing point and closing. And in that call, she told me that it was like she was talking with someone that cared, with a best friend that was actually caring and listening. And it's not something like, I don't mention this to brag, because he's not bragging. It's just like, this is what you want to do ultimately to sell your services. Like, it's understanding your audience. That's what makes them trusting you and believing it's going to work for them. So where are they stuck? What's making them stuck? What are they feeling about it? What they have tried to solve it but didn't work? What's the real solution? They need to understand that, and they need to understand it in various ways. It can be visual ways, so you can show them something. It can be in an emotional way. It can be in a logical way. It just depends on who you are talking with, or to, in this case, right? Now, in this case here, right, just to end here this short video, instead of going for ebooks and focus all your energy in trying to get as many downloads as possible, you don't want to spend all that energy. You may want to build your ebook right after you have your high ticket. You may want to build your ebook or your training, your free lead magnets. But instead of focusing on that, on driving traffic to that specifically, just have it in your content, your link tree, whatever, but focus on good quality content, right? The pros is that it's easy to grow an email list, right? Having an ebook, it's easy to grow an email list. The pros is that the cons is that 1,000 ebook downloads equals zero money. Only if you try to have a back-end offer or follow-up or all that stuff, you're going to make any money from that. 99% of people, they won't read. And it requires a lot of following up, like I mentioned, and sales calls with cold leads are going to be 10x harder. You are going to feel you're going to need a lot more time to talk with them. You're going to, to need 10 more calls than you should have and all those things. And ultimately, it's going to drain a lot more energy. And this is fundamental. When you are trying to do a solopreneur, you have a relatively small business for $10,000, $30,000 MRR. You want to really spend your energy wisely so that you can maintain it, sustain it, and you can scale it with time. Now, instead of focusing on 1 to 2K courses, again, here to remind you, in a warm audience, instead of focusing on selling $1,000 to $2,000 courses, focus on low, mid-ticket courses or monthly memberships. They are way, way easier to sell, and they also do the exact same thing. They build the credibility. They build the trust. Also here, they allow your audience to understand how good you are. They allow your audience to, to understand how does it look like to work with you, and how much you understand them as well. So it's pretty much does the same trick, but it's 10 times easier to sell at $50 or a $500 course than a $1,000 or $2,000 course. And yeah, the pros is that if you sell 10 or 20 courses a month, that's 10 to 20K. But the cons is that it's a hard sell if you are just getting started. You need a lot of social proof there. Might require a few team members to manage everything because it's $1,000. It's almost like a high ticket there. So people are going to expect a lot of demand there, a lot of quality. And it's high maintenance, energy draining, and evade your attention from your main goal, which is selling like 2 or 3 offers every single month to get to those 10 to 30K MRR. Now, just here to end this cycle here, for your hot audience, which is the main focus on what I really work with my clients. My main focus is going to be this one. It's going to be preparing the best program or best sales cycle for these things specifically, and then everything else I build secondary. Right? So if you've been watching my content, I always preach high ticket first. Then once you have that done, then you go for your cold audience strategy and then your warm audience strategy. You do like 3, 1, 2. So instead of having others doing your appointment setting, right? Focus on building a relationship with your audience and booking more discovery calls. That is going to be extraordinarily important because that's how you build good relationships. You actually get to work with someone one-on-one, and then you get a lot of testimonials. So this is exactly what I mentioned. In terms of pros, you're going to get 90% of profit margin. You're going to get easier. It's going to be easier to get testimonials and case studies. It's going to be less energy needed to get to 10 to 30K. You just need like 3 to 8 clients a month, and there you go. It's going to be faster to actually help your audience get to a goal, right? For example, I've sold over $400 courses, 400 courses for $200 and $300, and most of them, if I check the analytics, most of them, they don't fulfill more than 10 to 15% of the course. There's a few people, right? A few dozen people that actually get to 70, 80, 90, 100% of the course fulfillment, but most people, they spend $300, $400 on the course, and they just get like 2%, 6%, 7%, 15% of the course, completion. And that's nothing. To actually help them get the results, that is not going to happen with that low amount of fulfillment. So that's why going for one-on-one or for high ticket is actually going to be easier and more fulfilling for you as a coach or a service provider because of that single reason. The cons is that if you're going solo, like a solopreneur kind of journey, you might have a 5 to 10 student cap per month, which, I mean, if you have a $5,000 offer, if you have a 10 student cap per month, that's a 50K. So a lot more than the 10 to 20 to 30K MRR right there, So this is exactly the video that I have built right here. We trying to share with you my strategy. Maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't, but I really wanted to share with you this thing because I've been getting a lot of positive feedback around that, and most people didn't think about it that way. So again, one more step to helping more people and creating a bigger impact. So I would really like to know from you. Let me know what's your reaction with this. Are you building it with the exact same strategy, or are you focused more on cold audience or trying to sell your course first, then getting to your a hot audience in high ticket because you don't really believe that you can sell high ticket right now, or that you don't believe that you are there just yet, and you feel more safe and secure selling low ticket or a course instead. I would really like to know from you. So send me a DM. You know my profile. Just send me a DM. Let's chat about it and see if I have anything else that I could add of value. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for reaching out in my post requesting for this video, and I'll talk to you soon.